Good morning, I'm Chris Wragge. Coming up, this is a CBS2 News update. The mystery behind shots fired at an Upper East Side apartment building may soon be solved. Police have arrested a man accused in the shooting. The 22-year-old Roosevelt Island resident turned himself in at a police precinct in Queens. Police are still searching for another person of interest, a woman seen on surveillance video walking with that suspect. We're following Hurricane Lane's path towards Hawaii. The Category 2 storm is churning near the islands. This is a live look at Diamond Beach in Oahu, where howling winds are lashing palm trees and sending dangerous waves crashing to the shore. Now, on the Big Island, more than 2.5 feet of rain has already fallen. Rivers and lakes were quickly inundated and began to overflow their banks. 5 tourists from California were rescued after a ravine overflowed and flooded a home in Hilo. Authorities said the downpour from Lane has the potential to be catastrophic.
We're extremely concerned about the potentials for inland flooding, landslides occurring, and damage to the transportation communications infrastructure.
Residents have also been urged to stockpile at least 2 weeks' worth of food, water, and medicine. Vanessa Murdock is tracking Hurricane Lane. She's here with an update on the storm's path and, of course, our local forecast.
Well, certainly some of those rainfall totals have been exorbitant. We've seen numbers in excess of 30 inches. And obviously, there's still more rain to come. Here's a look at the current situation. The storm center about 200 miles south of Honolulu. It's moving at snail's pace, north at 5 miles per hour. Winds are at 110. It is a Category 2 hurricane. Right now, the biggest threat is the rainfall, but still lashing surf. Some storm surge is expected. And of course, those tropical storm force winds are also affecting land. Here is a look at the projected path of the storm. Continued weakening is expected, then a hard westerly turn is expected over the next, say, 12 hours or so. As that makes its westerly turn, more weakening is expected. But in the meantime, significant results from this storm, even though it may not come into what we consider direct contact with land, obviously indirect impacts. Gusts up to 75 miles per hour possible. Additional rainfall. We're talking on top of that 30-plus inches, 10 to 20-plus still possible. Surf 15 to 25 feet plus. Pounding surf, torrential rain. It's all a problem. Here at home, we don't have any problems. 75 degrees, sunny skies, looking fantastic. High pressure is in control. This afternoon will be in the low 80s with sunshine and low humidity. Your weekend looking picture perfect. Sunshine tomorrow at 80, 83 a little more sticky with mostly sunny skies on Sunday. Want to mention Sunday, more clouds in the mountains, maybe a shower there. Chris.
Okay, Vanessa, thank you so much. Gunfire in Brooklyn hits home for a local politician. Shots struck the Crown Heights campaign office of State Senator Jesse Hamilton. No one was hurt there, but nearby 2 people were hit. A 16-year-old boy who will be okay and a 31-year-old man whose condition we still do not know. Senator Hamilton posted his reaction on Twitter last night.
If someone is coming out my campaign office door right here, literally, you coming out and the bullet is right here. So literally, if someone was coming out my campaign office tonight at the wrong time, they would have gotten shot.
Well, Hamilton went on to decry gun violence in his neighborhood, saying he was tired of going to funerals and tired of seeing mothers crying over lost children. Police are still investigating the shooting. North Brunswick police have released new video of the man they say has been breaking into homes at night while residents are sleeping. Investigators say he's suspected in several burglaries in the area. The break-ins have been centered around Georges Road and Route 130. Well, Seton University is investigating possible sexual abuse at its seminary, including allegations against the former Archbishop of Newark, Theodore McCarrick. CBS2's Ali Bauman spoke with a local priest who claims he's been warning church leaders about McCarrick for decades.
The church saw itself as a law unto itself.
Father Boniface Ramsey taught at Seton Hall University Seminary School for 10 years, starting in 1986. At the time, Theodore McCarrick was Archbishop of Newark.
He was a presence at the seminary.
Ramsey says the former archbishop was charming but notorious for inviting the seminarians, college-age men training to become priests, to his house on the Jersey Shore.
So there were 5 seminarians and 1 archbishop, and there were 5 beds. That meant that one of those seminarians had to sleep in McCarrick's bed. He would say that. Oh, you'll have to stay with me.
Ramsey claims the behavior was widely known, and he first reported it to the rector in 1988. Then again in 2000 when McCarrick became Archbishop in Washington, D.C., and again in 2015 after McCarrick became a cardinal.
And nobody was doing anything about it, you know? it began to be the normal.
McCarrick was removed from public ministry in June following allegations in the New York Times that he fondled a minor 40 years ago. In a letter Thursday, the Seton Hall University president announced the school is reviewing allegations against the former archbishop, which may have involved students at Immaculate Conception Seminary School of Theology and the College Seminary at St. Andrews Hall. The letter states this is in response to recent reports of sexual abuse and harassment suffered at the hands of Catholic priests and the reported failure of many in the church's leadership to hold them accountable.
It seems to be an unspoken permission, doesn't it?
Father Ramsey says he was never aware of the archbishop having sexual relations with minors during his time at Seton Hall. The university has hired an outside law firm to conduct an independent review. From South Orange, New Jersey, Allie Bauman, CBS2 News.
Okay, the Vatican says Pope Francis will meet privately with victims of clerical sexual abuse during his visit to Ireland this weekend. Police are searching for two women, they say, slashed a subway passenger who accidentally stepped on one of their feet. Police say this woman and her female friend got into an argument with a 24-year-old man on the A train Wednesday. They say the dispute then continued into the station on 207th Street, where the woman's 40-year-old friend cut the victim with a box cutter in the back and arm. He was treated at the hospital and released. Taxis in New York City now have a new tool to compete with Uber, Lyft, and other ride-sharing companies. A Midtown-based tech company called Wave, with 2 A's, just rolled out a 2-year pilot program for yellow and green taxis. Passengers will be able to use a smartphone app to get upfront surge-free pricing. And just like with Uber and Lyft, they can pay ahead using a credit card on file. Passengers and drivers can begin signing up for Wave with 2 A's today. They plan to offer rides starting next week. And if you're looking for even more options to get around the city, how about scooting around town on a motorized scooter? A city councilman is drafting legislation for scooter sharing. CBS2's political reporter Marsha Kramer with more.
They are popular in many other cities, electric scooters that are rented just like city bikes, and could prove popular here as a way to avoid chronically poor subway service and annoyingly congested streets.
It's 2018, it's the future.
Brooklyn Councilman Raphael Espinal drawing up legislation for the city's first scooter share program, a pilot to see how to make it work.
It's time for the city to embrace a new form of transportation instead of putting the brakes on a potential problem solver.
There are still a lot of kinks to be worked out, state action needed to legalize them, and some basic rules to be established. Helmets required, speed limits. Where would they go, asked one Department of Transportation official. Espinal says they won't be allowed on sidewalks.
I think it's important for every pedestrian to know that we will never allow for any vehicle that could be a threat to their safety to be on our sidewalks.
Paul Steely-White of Transportation Alternatives is a fan.
It makes perfect sense for a crowded city like New York to have a spatially efficient, convenient, low-cost way to get around.
Some are worried about safety. 2 women in Nashville, for example, injured last May by a hit-and-run driver. Council Speaker Corey Johnson said in a statement, in order for them to work, public safety must be paramount.
I think that's a good idea. Less traffic.
I'm not sure it's a good idea.
Because?
It's like dangerous.
I think it's smart.
Why?
Maybe energy saving, it would be one thing, and pollution.
More bikes on the road is going to mean harder for cars to drive. I actually drive the city bus, and it's already hard to drive with the city bikes and stuff. So I would think it would be a bad idea.
Officials at a company named Bird, which runs scooter sharing all over the U.S., say the average cost of a ride would be $1.90. That's cheaper than the subway, where it's currently $2.75 with a Metro card, or $3 for a single ride. Well, Starbucks will have to pay some employees to spend half of their work week at a local nonprofit. The company started a pilot program in 13 cities in coordination with the Points of Light Foundation. For 6 months, 36 employees will spend at least 20 hours a week at their Starbucks jobs, and up to 20 more serving agencies that support refugees and veterans, feed the hungry, and protect the environment. Well, this is one hotel guest that won't be welcome back in Colorado. A black bear was caught on camera late Wednesday night in the lobby of the famed Stanley Hotel at the base of the Rocky Mountain National Park. He can be seen testing out the furniture, walking around a little bit. Hotel workers say the bear didn't stay long and no guests were around at the time. They say the visit was extremely rare, but staffers aren't entirely surprised because of the hotel's close proximity to the park. I would check that leather for scratch marks. That's your CBS2 News Update. I'm Chris Wragge. Have a great day. Please follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Chris Wragge.